students. So today we will continue our discussion of the sources of energy. We will discuss the biomass and as well the wind energy. Both of them are two renewable energy sources. So today we will discuss about that biomass as well the wind energy. In the beginning we have discussed about the wood. So we can burn the wood to produce the heat energy. So actually the wood is the part of a plant, and that is we can say that it is that is in the category of biomass. Actually that is an organic substance. As well, the cow dung, the dry cow dung can be used for or used instead of the wood to burn, and in the kitchen for the purposing of cooking we are using the dry cow dung. That is also a byproduct of an animal, so that's also under the category of a biomass or a biological energy. So we can define the biomass as the fuels which are the products of a plant or animals. Such fuels are known as the biomass. So the two examples that are cow dung as well the wood from trees or plants. That are the two examples for the biomass. But when you are considering the biomass, there are some limitations. You know that even if you are using the cow dung as well the wood, the heat acquired will be very less. The heat energy produced will be very less. And as well the byproduct, that means the charcoal, also a huge emission of the smoke. These are some limitations for the biomass. And regarding the wood, when the wood is burnt in a limited supply of oxygen, in the deficiency of the oxygen, if you are burning the wood, the water and the volatile materials present in it get removed, and the charcoal is left behind as the residue. This charcoal have the ability to burn without fumes. And as well the charcoal is comparatively smokeless, and it have the high efficiency to produce the heat energy. So what you have to do, you have to burn the wood in the deficiency of oxygen. Then the water content as well the volatile materials which are there on the wood will be get removed, and the pure form of the wood, or we can say the pure form of the wood as a fuel, that is the charcoal, we can obtain. And they have the ability to burn without fumes, and as well smokeless, and they are having the higher efficiency of producing the heat. Now along with the cow dung, by adding the materials of the plants as well the residues after harvesting the crops, vegetable waste, and as well the sewage, decomposing all those things together in the absence of the oxygen, that means anaerobic decomposition. Then we can produce the biogas. The biogas is also one of the biomass, or the we can say as the biomass fuel, the biogas. The major material we are using in the biogas, which is the cow dung. So it is popularly known as, the biogas is popularly known as the gobar gas. Gobar gas, that's another name of biogas. So now let us come to the biogas and its production and the biogas plant, all those things. We will see those things in detail. So here the schematic diagram of one biogas plant is given. Here is the beginning position where you have to make the slurry of the whatever the things, the vegetables, the waste materials of the vegetable, as well the plant materials or the cow dung, and all those things you have to mix up with water, and in the form of a juice form you have to just make it with the help of adding water, and then you will allow it to move to the chamber. Actually, the structure of the tank or the chamber, it is a dome like structure. This structure, it is known as the dome like structure, and after mixing this one we will close the opening, so the passage of the air through this tank will be restricted, and inside the chamber this portion is known as the digestion or the digestion chamber, or we can say the digester, where the bacterias, anaerobic bacterias are there. They will decompose the thing, the biological thing, that whichever we have, organic thing or the cow dung that we have added to the chamber. The anaerobic decomposition can be taken by the bacteria or the anaerobic microorganism. They don't need the oxygen to proceed the decomposition. So as a result of this decomposition there will be the formation of methane gas. So near about 75% of methane gas is produced. 75% methane gas will be there as the from the byproduct. That means in the biogas the most of the portion is containing the methane gas. So it will be moved up to the upper portion of the chamber, and the remaining portion will be rejected out through the opening on the other side, and that is actually a manure or the fertilizer. The residue can be used as a fertilizer, and the byproducts, both the byproducts, the gas product and as well the solid product which are used up as a manure, both are useful. That's the major advantage of this biogas plant or the biogas system. So as the methane gas, as the biogas is containing the 75% as methane gas, it burns without smoke and there will be no residue like ash and wood, and the efficiency, heating efficiency will be also very high. So the bio waste can be managed, or the sewage materials can be managed in such a manner to produce the fertilizer as well the biogas here in the biogas plant. So we cannot find much demerits there in the case of the biogas plants. As well, we can find out many merits too. The waste management can be done with the help of the biogas plant as well. We can produce a large amount of energy as an energy source, and as well production of fertilizers. All those things can be done from one and only one biogas plant. Okay, these are the major things regarding the biogas and the biomass. So biomass is the fuel which are the part of a biological body or a plant or an animal. So now let us come to the next source of the energy, that is the wind energy. As we have seen in the case of the hydro power plants, instead of that kinetic energy of water, in that hydropower plants, the kinetic energy or the potential energy of the water were used up to produce or used up to rotate the turbine. But here the wind flow or the kinetic energy of the wind is getting used up to rotate the turbine, and as well generator as well. Hence as we are rotating the turbine, we are rotating the coil there in the generator or the dynamo, and as a result we can obtain the electricity. In the earlier time also, the people were using the wind energy, but not to produce the electricity. Instead of that, for some physical as a help in some physical works, as like to pulling up the water from the well. For that purpose they were using the wind energy. By the time when the people came to know about the electromagnetic induction and all, then they have to think about producing the electricity from that wind energy. Recently only we have found the wind energy. We have found that we can convert the wind energy or the energy of the kinetic energy of the wind into the form of electricity. So here we can say the mechanical energy or the kinetic energy of the wind is converted into electrical energy with the help of the turbine and the generator. Here the output of one single windmill will be very negligible, or very less amount of energy only will be there. So for the commercial purpose, that energy will not be enough. So therefore a number of windmills are erected over a large area or planted over a large area, which is known as the wind farm or the wind energy farm. And energy output of each windmill will be connected together, and as a result we can obtain a large or huge amount of energy, and that will be useful for the commercial purpose or the industrial purpose. And the wind energy, we can consider them as the renewable sources of energy. And the wind energy as well, as we are consuming the wind energy for producing the electricity, there will be no pollution. But still there are some limitations that we will discuss now. The first one, only in some particular areas we can plant the wind, or we can place the wind farms, because a 50 km per hour with a velocity of 50 km per hour the wind is necessarily needed for placing a wind farm. Then only the blades or the wings of the fan will rotate. If the rotation take place, then only we can produce the electricity from the generators which are connected to the turbine. So the wind speed should be higher than 15 km per hour. As well, if the wind, in some seasons there will be a deficiency in the amount of the flow of wind, then we should have the necessarily backups like cells, storage cells, to take care of the energy needs. And you have already studied that in the 9th standard how the wind is forming. You just revise or recall those things. Means the water is getting heated up very slowly, but the land area will be heated up easily, and the air portion which are having more temperature will be replaced by the air with a low temperature, and there will be a movement of air from one point to another point, and in such a way the wind is forming. So that you have already studied that in the 9th standard. So just to recall and refresh those things also. Okay. And as well, regarding the wind farm, we have already discussed that one. From one windmill, only a few amount of energy only we can obtain. So we need a large number of windmills for a particular area. Then for producing a sufficient amount of energy, we need a large area. So regarding the land also, there are some the land required is also very high. That is also one of the limitation for the wind energy. It means for 1 megawatt generator, the farm needs about 2 hectares. So the initial cost of establishment of these windmills are very huge. Majorly there will be maintenance will be less, but still due to the climate situations, means the windmills are highly exposed to the atmosphere. So the sun, storm, cyclone, rain, all those things will affect it. So in such a way, if you are considering, the maintenance cost will also be very high. For establishment, it is highly costly. You know that in this area there are so many windmills are there. So in another ways, if you are comparing with other energy sources, the wind energy is one of the efficient. The efficiency of the wind energy, we can say that it is high, and it is a renewable source, and it is having less amount of pollution. So the biomass and wind energy, we just read the textbook very well and go through the question answers of index question answers as well the textbook exercise question answers. Most of the question answers are direct one only, theoretical ones only. So try to find out the answer from the textbook and study it thoroughly, and as well write those question answers in your notebook also. Okay. So the remaining 1 or 2 topics are there. We will finish those things within 2 or 3 days. By Thursday we will finish those things, and we will start the discussion of the question answers of the previous chapters as well this chapter afterwards. Okay, so study properly. Okay, thank you.